My best friend and I share the same birthday. Iconic, I know. This year, we exchanged presents at her place. She got me a digital camera, and I gave her some jewelry. So now my question is, who gave more? Her, obviously. The digital camera was expensive and valuable compared to my jewelry. Now, what if I told you that I took a day off from school and I bought a plane ticket last minute and flew across the country to spend that birthday with her? Now, who really gave more? Hi, I am Pranathi Bhat, and I am in 12th grade. And today I want to challenge how we measure effort in our daily lives. In today's world, with a society that gives us a burden of expectations and a pressure to always do more, we've started to distort the meaning of value. The loudest apology, the grandest gesture, the biggest gift, all impressive, but are they valuable? In cases like these, we have been trained to measure outcomes based on size alone rather than sacrifice. But sometimes it's not about how much somebody gives you, rather, how much it costs them to give it. For an example, an hour of somebody overwhelmed can mean way more than a day of somebody who does basically nothing all day. And because of this, we need to understand not to miss the sacrifice and not just look at the outcome of something. Because if we miss the sacrifice, we miss the true value of an object. In terms of math, it's quite easy and simple to understand inputs and outputs. The more we give in, the more we understand and the more we take. But we rarely apply this logic to relationships. Psychologists call this the theory of equity, which was originally developed by John Stacey Adams, in which there's a ratio of how much we contribute versus how much we receive. Now, the problem is that we don't measure contribution very accurately because effort is not always valued the same. Researchers at the University of California, San Diego recently conducted an experiment to study how value and effort correlate. In this experiment, participants were given an opportunity to gain a mug, a simple mug. They had the choice. Some were told that they already worked for the mug and they would receive it, while others said they were supposed to work for it by climbing a bunch of stairs. For those who had an effort in the future, meaning that they had to climb the stairs, the mug was way less desirable, versus for those who had already worked for it, it was much more valuable. And that is the effect, that is the paradox of effort. It tells us that we dislike something before it costs us, but once we sacrifice, we value it. So if effort changes the value of our rewards, just imagine how often we misjudge the efforts of others. In this case, I have one instance where one of my students in which I teach gave me a thank you card last year at the end of the year. It was pretty simple, quite messy actually, the font, the sticker placement, the drawings, and I would say it would be done in a car if you gave me a chance. But after, her mom told me something very interesting that changed my perspective. She spent hours collecting those stickers, picking the right card color, the fonts, the markers, all of it. And every detail was set to precision, which I didn't understand at first. But once I did, that tiny card felt enormous to me. And not because of what it looked like, but because of what into it, the effort. Her time, her focus, her energy, her love, her care, all of it made it seem much more than it was before. The quiet effort that originally went unnoticed now suddenly mattered to me. And because of that, I learned that value isn't always visible. True worth of a gesture, a gift, or even a moment is by the sacrifice and by the effort that goes behind it. So the next time you see something and assume that it's big, maybe ask what it really cost. Because if you gave your all and the other person only gave their extra, was the math ever really equal? Thank you.